What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for NFL Sunday. So I actually have 5 picks in today's video, so really excited about that. Yesterday, we had 5 picks in college football, and we do go 3 out of 5, so that's a 60% hit rate. I always try to aim between 60 to 65% hit rate, so I'm happy with that. Obviously, I would have loved to go 5 out of 5, as we all would have, but I think good calls around the board. Messamacher, great call. Chris Bell, great call. Matty, I'm going to skip him and talk about him in a second here. Kyron Jones, probably the worst call of the day. We really need him to get a rushing touchdown. He didn't, but if he does get a rushing touchdown, it's a lot closer, but he didn't. And then Julian Sason once again cashes his under completion, which is always way too high for him. At least the past couple of weeks it has been. Mathieu, he gets 1 completion really, and he has 175 yards in this game. Unfortunately, this was my favorite play of the day, and I did say that yesterday. I still think that this was a really good call. He had 175 yards in this game, and half of them literally came from one play at the end of the second half, which is unfortunate because without that play, he goes way under. He goes way under his fantasy score. He goes way under his longest completion, and a lot of things fall into place. But with Mathieu, guys, he does, obviously football things happen. Football players are football players, and he does get like a 90-yard completion to his main receiver. So, this is kind of unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I do like the call, right? Plays are going to happen in football. Overall, he still goes under his passing yard total, which was like 220 or something like that, even with a 90-yard pass completion. So, yesterday, I will say it was a little bit frustrating. It was a little bit disappointing just with how set up we were going into Saturday. We are actually really set up, probably even more set up going into Sunday, which is nice to see. Some of these weekends, guys, luckily we think in weekends. We think in weekends and weeks and months long term. It's not about the day to day. But today was, or Saturday was a little bit frustrating because we were set up. We had some good opportunities. We just didn't really come through with a lot of stuff, to be honest. But that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes these weekends, like last weekend, for example, we crushed Saturday going up 20 units, and then we crushed Sunday going up 20 units. Okay. So some weekends are like that, where it's just like both days. Some weekends, and I can think of some weekends where maybe college football does extremely good and NFL doesn't do so well, or vice versa, where college football doesn't do so good and then NFL does very, very good and goes up like 30 units and pays off so much of college football and some right on top of it. So, there's a lot of weekends, there's a lot of methods that you can gain, units on these type of weekends here. But you'll see we're very set up for tomorrow, which is a great sign. We have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 setups. This isn't one. So I guess 7 setups so far and counting, right? We're going to keep adding to that. I have some plays out already for tomorrow, so hopefully those can also set up. And then, a lot of yesterday was just stuff like this, right? Like Miller Moss didn't play, and this goes for a 2.5x, which is fine. I mean, I'm happy that a play hit, but again, we kind of wasted it because this guy DMPs, and the same thing here, this guy pushes at 4, and this is just a 2.5x. So we made the right call on Jones and Green. And then, for example, I already kind of went over Mathieu, but if that long, massive 90-yard pass play doesn't hit, I mean, you'll see he only goes over his first half yardage by 10 yards, and that's with a 90-yard pass completion in this first half. So, a little bit unfortunate, obviously, but this one misses. For example, this guy misses by like 6 yards. It happens. And then this one, for example, Walker Eget, he gets hurt in the first half. So he gets like 32 yards very quickly in this game. I'm like, here we go. San Jose State's cooking. They're a very, very pass-heavy team. And he gets hurt, and the backup comes in. So he throws like 3 or 4 passes in this game, gets hurt, gets out of the game, and then they obviously miss our slip. So there was some unfortunate stuff that is going to happen. Again, not every week's going to go perfect. Some weeks you are going to get a little tossed around a little bit. And some weeks everything just seems perfect and like you cannot miss. So that is how betting is, guys. The one thing that I will say about betting, guys, is you have to control your emotions. If there's anything that I will tell you guys, we win long term, almost guaranteed. Okay, I hate guaranteeing anything because nothing is guaranteed in the world, but I have, I can track last year's units. We went up 600 units over like 3,000 to 4,000 bets. This year we're up more than 300 units over like, I would say 2,000 bets, something like that. You'll see the graph right here is tracking about 1,500 bets, and we're up 200 units since May 1st, which is the start of the summer. Maybe we're down a little bit down here now or something like that, just because of Saturday, something like that. But again, guys, all these things are going to fluctuate up and down. They're always going to fluctuate. For example, this was the first week in October, and then this was November right here, the first week in November, and then this was the second week in November. Okay, so again, these ups and downs are always going to happen. This whole period of time, actually this whole period of time, nothing changed, right? We didn't do anything different. It's just using the correlation strategy that we always use in the VIP. Okay, so let's get into the picks. Before we get into the picks, I do want to say if you do want to get into the VIP, guys, sign up for Sleeper. You'll get 2 months free of the VIP. Super simple to do so. All you have to do is text me the word Sleeper to my number on the screen. 2 months free of the VIP. You guys can also sign up for ONYX odds and get $100 in free picks with ONYX odds to my number on the screen. Okay, guys. So $100 in free picks. If you don't want free money, then don't text me. But free money, you'll get a free month, and you can start cashing with us. Like I said, we went up 100 units in October. And that would be $1,000 if you are a $10 sports bettor. So let's get into the plays, guys. I'm really excited about the NFL, really excited about these matchups, and excited about these games. Hopefully Prizepicks will load for us here. There we go. It is thinking. But the first pick of the day, guys, is going to be Darnell Mooney over 44.5 receiving yards. So Kirk Cousins, Darnell Mooney, it is kind of a weird Falcons team right now because they just lost London. They just lost Michael Penix, and they're kind of in a weird state right now. So I think Darnell Mooney is going to be the guy for the next couple of weeks. Kirk Cousins has a really good rapport with Darnell Mooney. There's a lot of games last year where Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney goes ahead and gets like 150 yards together, or I think there was a game where they almost got like 200 yards together that I can remember, and Kirk Cousins had like close to 500 yards last year. So I think Kirk Cousins, I think people are writing him off a little bit. I think he's still a really good passing quarterback. He's still not super old. Like he's not like Joe Flacco old. So he can still get the ball around. Yes, he's a little bit injured. He's been injured, but I still think he's going to be able to pass. And I think the Falcons are going to be a little more pass heavy than they normally are, which is something that's going to be a little bit interesting. So I think they're either going to be super pass heavy or they're really, really going to rely on the run. But I think with Kirk Cousins, they're going to be a little bit more pass heavy, and Darnell Mooney is going to be a big beneficiary as being really the wide receiver one on this team, because I don't think Kyle Pitts is. I think Darnell Mooney is going to have to step into that wide receiver one role for the next couple of weeks, because Kyle Pitts just I don't know, he's okay, but he's just not really the like alpha receiver there. Second play of the day is going to be Jordan Love over 30.5 pass attempts. So I always talk about pass attempts in a way where if a team is winning the game, they're probably going to pass less. If a team is losing the game, they're probably going to pass more. Now, this one's a little bit different because first of all, I think Green Bay and Minnesota, especially with what I'm about to say, which I think Josh Jacobs is not going to play this game. So how they have it out right now is that Josh Jacobs is like questionable. He has tenderness in his knee, and they don't know if he's going to suit up. It's like a game time decision, guys. I think that is all BS. I think Josh Jacobs is not going to play. He looked pretty banged up. He got out of the game, and they kept him out of the game, and then it looked like a potential ACL sort of injury, and then he has tenderness all week, being limited in practice all week. I think this is one of those ploys by teams where they're just trying to keep him like in the loop, just so Minnesota has to game plan for him. But at the end of the day, I do not think that they are going to play him. I think they're going to rest him, and then they have another game on Thanksgiving, actually. So I think they're going to rest him, and then they're going to play him in Thanksgiving. Now, with that being said, that is just kind of my intuition on that. I see this a lot with teams where they just try to, keep their players in the loop just so teams have to game plan for them. But with all of this being said, if Josh Jacobs does not play, I do think the Packers are going to rely on the pass a lot more. We saw that. Josh Jacobs, obviously a very dominant runner, and I think they're going to look more like, I don't know. I'm trying to think, but I think they're going to look a lot more pass heavy in this game as well if Josh Jacobs is not in this game. So that is going to be the second play there. And the third play is going to be pretty simple, to be honest. It's going to be Mason Taylor under 4 receptions. I simply think this is way too high for him here. I kind of like his under 6 targets a little bit more even. So if you do want to go with his receiving targets, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to switch it to his receiving targets as my official play. If you want to take his receptions and do that, but I do like his under receiving targets as well. Again, I just think this is way too high for him. Okay, Jets, I don't really know what they are, but with Mason Taylor, I don't know. He doesn't look that dominant. I don't think he's a very dominant tight end. I think he's just kind of like another person, another guy on the team that might get balls, might not get balls. I mean, that's pretty much how everyone on the Jets is. And 6 targets is a lot for him for a rookie that's kind of looked a little bit mediocre in my opinion. So that is going to be the 3rd play of the day. The 4th play of the day is going to be Kareem Hunt, and we're going to take him under 14.5 rush attempts. Now, if you look at all these plays, guys, he's gone way under this in a lot of these games here. But the main thing here is that Kansas City is playing the Colts, and I think this is going to be a very competitive game. So the only time that the Chiefs really focus on the run, especially this past year, is when they're absolutely destroying teams. So when they're up by like 25 points or 20 points, that is when they start running the football. But that does not honestly happen very much with the Chiefs. They found themselves in a lot of close games. And with the Colts, I think this is going to be a very close game. I think the Chiefs honestly could very, very easily lose this game. And I think what might happen with the Colts is the Colts are honestly masters of time of possession. They're masters of time of possession. They're masters of running the football. And they have a really, really good defense. So I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be forced to pass a lot. If I was the Chiefs, I'd give the ball to Patrick Mahomes a lot more than Kareem Hunt. So taking Kareem Hunt under. And then the last play of the day, we're going to double down on him, actually. We've tripled down on him because I have a play, actually, that's set up for Shadur and Harold Fannin. I gave out this pick yesterday as well with Cam Ward, and then I'm giving out another Shadur Sanders over in today's video. So we're tripling down on Shadur Sanders. The triple down this time is going to be pass attempts, over pass attempts for Shadur Sanders. Yesterday, by the way, if you don't want to go watch yesterday's video, I did give us over 160 pass yards. And it is just as simple as this is way too low for an NFL quarterback, guys. I mean, if you look at every single quarterback, like you can make opinions on these guys. You can say, oh, this guy's bad, this guy's good, this guy's bad, this guy's good. But we have all of these guys at like 200 at least. And then we have Shadur Sanders at 160. It makes absolutely no sense. 160 for an NFL quarterback is very, very disrespectful. I mean, he's going to be in the whole game. They have no other player really to play. They should play him the whole game. I mean, there's no reason to take him out. He's playing the Raiders, which, you know, they could honestly win this game. I mean, we've seen crazier things. So with all this being said, I am going to take his pass attempts this time because Shadur Sanders, I do think he's going to pass a lot. We also saw the last game, he had a very, very bad completion percentage. He went 4 for 12. So actually, the worse his completion percentage is, the more pass attempts that he's likely going to have. If you think about it, if it's first down and he misses a pass, then it's 2nd and 10. It's another pass down, and then 2nd and 10, maybe he misses another pass, and then it's 3rd and 10, and now he has to pass again. So these missed passes add on to each other. So bad passing percentage, bad completion percentage. Again, I don't know if that's just a small trend that we saw in last game, but if he does end up having these bad completion percentage games, that's going to mean that he gets more and more pass attempts throughout the game. If you have a really, really good pass completion percentage, you might go like 22 for 24 or 22 for 25, and only have like 25 pass attempts, even though you completed the ball a lot, right? As much as a normal NFL quarterback would. So if Shadur Sanders is missing, I don't think he really missed balls. He just kind of had a lot of like drops. He had a lot of missed balls, and he wasn't really clicking with that first offense. I mean, we saw in a news article or whatever that he didn't get any snaps with the first team. So he's not really in sync with the first team. So we should see a lot of missed, maybe routes and stuff, and a lot of pass completions and pass attempts for him. So these are the 5 plays, guys. We have Darnell Mooney over. We have Jordan Love over pass attempts. We have Mason Taylor under receiving targets. We have Kareem Hunt under rush attempts. And we have Shadur Sanders over pass attempts, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want to get into the VIP, guys, text me the word ONYX to my number on the screen. I'm also giving away a signed Jordan Addison jersey. So this is going to be the last day to enter in this giveaway. All I have to do is like and comment on this video, and I will get you a raffle ticket entry into this signed jersey giveaway that I'm going to be actually doing on Monday morning. All right, guys, so stay tuned for that. Again, subscribe to these videos because you might be the lucky winner for this jersey. Thank you again, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.